What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Latch.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be looking at UFC Fight Night Ortega versus Rodriguez. We're going to be looking at the main event, Brian T. City Ortega versus Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. But before we get started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't. We're putting out videos for almost every fight night and pay-per-view. So if you're looking for content like this, subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's get right into it. What you think, Jeff?
All right, so we got Brian T. City Ortega. He's currently ranked number 2. He's 15-2, 31 years old. He's 5'8" and a 69-inch reach. He's coming off a loss against the champion, Alexander Volkanovski. And before that was a win against the Korean Zombie. And he's going up against Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. He's currently ranked number 3. He's 13-3, 29 years old. He's 5'11" with a 71-inch reach. And he's coming off a loss against Max Holloway. And before that was a win against Jeremy Stephens. What you think?
Yeah, I think this is a really important matchup in the featherweight division. If Yair wins, he could very well be next. If Ortega wins, you know, he's probably a winner away too from possibly a rematch against Volkanovski. The odds have T-City at a minus 165 favorite, so slight edge to Brian Ortega. Yair will be the underdog. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Ortega improve. He took a long layoff. His striking got a little better. I thought it was being a little overhyped, especially because he came back and beat Zombie. But I don't think his striking is as natural as people think it is. I think he's still working on it. He still has a lot to go. He has a much more traditional boxing style, which is a very different striking style than Yair. You know, Yair is much more of a kickboxer. He likes to utilize his kicks. He has some really nice kicks. He can go high, low, switch it up. And he throws them hard and fast. You know, we've seen that over and over again. Obviously, Ortega's biggest advantage is the jiu-jitsu, you know, on his ground game. The only thing is his wrestling good enough to take down Yair? You know, Yair's, if you remember, flashback, Yair's first loss was to Frankie Edgar, and it was a huge jump in competition. And if you don't know, Frankie's also a wrestler, a pretty strong one. So when that fight happened, I mean, it went as much as you expected it to. Frankie took him down, beat him up there, and he could not get him off of him. We could see something like that. Ortega's obviously not the wrestler Frankie is, but he has some decent wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, you even saw Max Holloway took him down a couple times.
Yeah, that's what worries me, man, because Max is not a great wrestler. Like, you saw it even in his technique. It did not look good.
Yeah.
He was still able to get there. Maybe he got caught off guard, but I don't know. I did not like that, seeing that from Yair, especially that Max was, he did sweep him once, but Max was able to hold multiple good positions, you know? If someone like Ortega gets him in that body triangle, in that guillotine, he probably finishes it, you know?
Yeah.
And so
probably.
I think Ortega, I think the reason, like I said, his wrestling is what I'm not sure about. But I think if we saw his fight against Moicano and Cub Swanson, he didn't wrestle to get those spots. You know, they happened in moments. They were moments where he just took advantage of it. If he gets a moment like that against Yair, I don't trust Yair to be able to defend it well and not get finished. I just think Ortega only needs a moment to get the sub, right? He doesn't even need to take him down completely. But if he can get to him, he can win. Obviously, Ortega's listed as 5'8", but there's no way, bro. That dude is huge. Yeah. He was listed as the same height as Korean Zombie, and he was way bigger when it came fight night. So there's no way he's 5'8". He's probably closer to 5'11". And yeah, I mean, Yair has a reach advantage, but I don't know. I feel like this is gonna stay standing until Ortega shoots. He'd be, I think, not an idiot, but he'd be like. I don't know. Why wouldn't he take advantage of such an obvious mismatch, you know?
Yeah.
And we've seen Yair fall to the wrestling before, so why not try to at least test it and see, hey, is your wrestling getting better kind of thing? And honestly, I don't think it has gotten as solid. It hasn't become as solid as I think Yair will hope that it is. And so I actually have Ortega by submission. I think he's going to get to his moment, and I think he's going to sub Yair. I think Yair's sub defense and grappling defense is just something that leaves a lot to be desired. And I think Ortega gets it done by submission.
All right. Yeah, I can see that too. I actually have Yair winning. I just think Brian Ortega is going to have a lot of trouble closing the distance. Even if he does shoot or he doesn't, you know, he's going to have a hard time closing the distance with all the kicks. And I think what Yair utilizes very well is like he gets people kind of like, you know, people are afraid of the takedown. Like at some point, like, you know, after taking so many kicks, like then they start fearing the kicks, and then that's when he, you know, improvises with his striking, right, with his hands. And I think he does that very well. And I don't know, I think he's way faster than Brian Ortega. But the thing is, like you said, if Brian Ortega gets even close to him, you know, like Cub Swanson, he finished him on the feet, right? Or if he goes to the ground, that's even worse. You know, he's gonna finish him almost certain that he will, you know.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, Yair Rodriguez has been hiding something or
Bruh.
something on the ground, you know. But
I doubt it.
but yeah, I don't know. I think Brian Ortega is just going to struggle with the distance. I think he is going to struggle with the kicks too. I mean, I agree with you. He must be weird or something if he decides not to go for the takedown, right? I don't think his wrestling is as good, though. So I think he might struggle with that, especially being the slower fighter. So I think the speed advantage is actually what's going to win it for Yair.
The legs there, too, for him to take.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, throwing kicks, especially opens you up to get taken down. So that's also a big worry for Yair. But, I mean, Yair's biggest threats are his explosivity and his speed, I think, and his creativity. So, I mean, you can never count him out. The only thing is I don't see him, like you said, I think you said he can outstrike him. Obviously not with the hands, but maybe with his kicks
Yeah.
at range. But I don't know. I just see Ortega getting done by submission. I think he can close the distance, maybe push Yair to the cage and work from there.
Mm.
And that's what I think. That's why I have him by decision. I have Ortega by submission, and you say you have Yair by
I have Yair by decision probably,
by
but
decision.
you
5
know,
rounds.
yeah, 5 rounds. I think decision. I think it's gonna be a war if it does stay standing. You know, no
Yeah.
submission. So
Yeah, if there's no finish, bro, they're gonna go at it. I think.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. But you know, I actually think the longer the fight goes on, I think Ortega wins by submission, right?
Oh, okay.
Because Yair's kicks. Well, it depends too, because Max set a crazy pace, right?
Mhm.
And that's when he started catching some of the kicks and stuff, because they were coming a lot slower. Because Yair was coming, you know, getting tired. So I guess it depends on the pace that's set. But if it's a somewhat heavy pace, I do see Ortega getting the takedown with you know, catching a kick or something similar to Max. It's interesting, you know. I think if it ends early, I think Ortega wins. No, I mean if it ends early, I think Yair wins. Or if it goes the distance, I think Yair wins. If it does end at any point, it's probably gonna be in the later rounds by Ortega.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a great fight regardless. I think especially if it doesn't end early, it's gonna be a banger of a fight. You know, that featherweight division has a lot of great matchups. I mean, that's what we think. Those were our thoughts, our predictions. I have Ortega by submission. Jeffrey has Yair by most likely a decision. Let us know down below what you think. Do you think Ortega's wrestling and jiu-jitsu will be key in this matchup, or you think Yair has too much to offer for Ortega on the feet? Let us know down below. Those are our thoughts, our predictions. I have Ortega by submission. Jeffrey has Yair by decision. Let us know down below what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think Ortega's ground game and jiu-jitsu will be key here, or you think Yair has too much for Ortega on the feet? Let us know down below. Like the video if you haven't. Make sure to check out our other videos. We're doing every other video on this card, including the co-main event, all the way to the opener. So go ahead and check those out if you haven't. And yeah, we'll see you next week for Aspinall versus Blades. It's going to be another great fight night. Don't forget to tune in. We'll see you then next week.
Yep. See ya.